Hello and welcome. I'm Domina Della Pie, Mistress Sasha Storm. Today I want to talk about mental illness, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, and dementia. And here goes the airline, once again polluting the atmosphere. I'm sitting in my room on my bed, and there comes through the window Air Canada aircraft. Distraction? No. I've got my full capacity. I'm not going to forget a thing. The reason for this is my mom has had 2 brain operations, and I have recently been exposed to elderly women, in quotes, suffering from or struggling with dementia. And so I started to learn a bit more about the condition and possible treatments that could benefit our ailing seniors. My grandmother was murdered last year in a retirement residence because of this COVID restrictions and lockdown. We were not permitted to visit her or see her, and for some time she didn't have her phone, so I just had no contact with her. And when I finally did, I was relieved to learn that she was okay, but she was begging me to come and take her out of that place, and I didn't have the power because she took it away from me. She made so many different people be her power of attorney. And her reason for not making me be her power of attorney was because I didn't drive. You see, when you black people, you must stop being so materialistic, and you have a tendency to look down on those that you've deemed to be not successful because we don't have trappings such as mansions and fleets of cars and private planes, and or even a husband. In my case, I'm unmarried, so my family look down on me a lot, and it's reflected in various ways. One of them is this: I was always there for my grandmother, and I was one who always cared for my grandmother, while the others always showed that they cared only about her money, which she always talked about. People always after her money, which they were, because what did she do? Always talk about her money tree, flashing money, flashing things. Geminis, very much show-offs, right? And they will give an impression of wealth. I don't know, it's their insecurity causing that. But anyway, I was also exposed to an Aries woman in her 70s, millionaire. She, her wealthy parents passed away and left her staggering amounts of money. She had wealth, okay? Real wealth. And to see her in that state in her 70s, she had been an alcoholic, and she was playing around with younger males, young guys who would rob her. They would go into her bank account, into her, in the middle of the night while she passed out drunk. They would take her bank card and go to the ATM and take money. And so I've been around to see how especially women are preyed upon by young people who approach them and pretend to be in love with them, but they are in love with the money, the trappings, the mansion, the high-end autos, the Bentley, Mercedes, and they love BMWs, and they'll tell you that. Anyway, if you hear a guy talking about, I love BMWs, I love Mercedes, and all the European labels that they put on their bodies, the designer clothes, just know, stay away from those people, because if they're not from their own resources getting themselves those things, and they're looking to you to give to them, there's no love there, okay? It's a love of money. See, the root of all evil is the love of money. The love of money is the root of something like that, right? Something like that. But anyway, we're here about, I discovered, well, first of all, we're going to talk about that part of Jamaica. I don't remember where it is, but somewhere in Jamaica, in a remote area, like country, there is a community in which dwells a large number. It's like the majority of the elderly, the majority of the older people, the seniors in that community have mental problems, mental illness. They're afflicted with all sorts of issues mentally. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, that's so sad. And, I want to put the word out. How can you help such a community? And I only know holistically how to do it, because all those so-called billionaires and trillionaires who are boasting about what they can do, they don't seem to have an interest in truly helping us. Okay? And don't tell me about any vaccines or injections, inoculations. That's not going to be it. We're going to go straight from the source, from the Most High, the rainforests, the gardens, the bush, the wilderness, where there are the plants that are healing us. And I discovered, because you see, everything I need comes to me, and everything I need to know is revealed. That's why all is well in my world, and I don't need the trappings that other people need to impress others, because I'm not here to impress anyone. I am a helper, a healer, a teacher, a lover, and many other labels. Let me have some water. I'm having my water with Canadian sourced sea moss, as well as okra and aloe. I've been detoxifying. So having been, and then my mom having had her brain operations, brain tumors. So I have an interest in healing and in health and wellness of seniors, our seniors, women especially, and men, whomever is in need, right? So when I heard about that community in Jamaica, and nobody knows why they are this way, and no one is able to help them, I just thought, wow, that's so sad. So comes to me this, my brother, he is a businessman, and he has his warehouses, and sometimes he brings from the warehouse things to us. And one of the things he brought was a pack. I was thankful, but I wish there had been more, because it was a small bag of something called Brahmi powder, Brahmi. It's Indian. So Brahmi powder, I went and read about it, and I was so incredibly overjoyed. I was overjoyed, okay, because my mom has, her memory, I see her memory is failing, and I see how this could possibly help her in the most non-invasive and safe ways possible. So my mom's best friend is an Indian lady from India, and she comes to the house. So I said, well, I've read about this, but I've never heard of it before. So my brother brought it with a whole bunch of other stuff like ashwagandha and cinnamon and a lot of supplements and stuff, right? Because he sells Amazon. So that Brahmi powder, I started to put it on my mom's food, because I did the DuckDuckGo. I did the searches for how best to use it. Do you use it as a tea? Do you put it do you cook with it? Do you put it on the food? Like with our plates of food, I will sprinkle on nutritional yeast for the bevites. And so in that same manner, you put a measure of teaspoons on the food, and it is bitter. That's how one of the ways I know that it is very good, okay, for the body. It's bitter, not sweet. Sweet usually is cancer causing, cancer growing. So I'm concerned about my mother's health, and so I started to give this to her, because I'm the one in charge of the food here, food preparation. I cook the food. I choose what we're going to eat, except, until if my brother brings things which are usually not the healthiest choices for us. So I started to give this to my mom, And I wanted to monitor any kind of progress, with her memory. But, life in COVID times, you're so bombarded with all sorts of things, and then, just all sorts of bombardments that are meant to distract us and to take us off our course. So I don't, my monitoring of that wasn't going very well, but I was giving it to her daily with her food from having done some research on it. But seeing that she has this Indian friend who comes by, once a week or once every 2 weeks, comes to our home and takes my mom to the bank and goes and does shopping for us, for our food, some food. She's like family, okay? So I decided I'm going to ask her about this. I say, hey, have you ever heard of Brahmi powder? And she told me what it was and what it was used for. I said, yes, that's what I heard, but I wanted to confirm with you because I love to receive information from various sources, and especially you being Indian and this Ayurvedic herb. So how do you think is the best way that I can use this to help my mom in her brain function and her memory? And she said, the best way, just to put it on the food, like a teaspoon or two on the food and just eat it. I started to do that. Well, we had already been doing that, in fact. I had already been doing that because I read about it. And it was bitter. But the funny thing is, the first couple times I had it, I said, that's bitter. But lately I've been eating bitter things. I've been enjoying bitter melon and dandelion greens. And so this was just another bitter thing that I knew was just going to be helpful to us. And I showed her the pack and she read it. And I thought she's going to finish reading it and place it on the table. Instead, she put it in her purse and she left with it. So when I'm going the next day, I'm going to feed my mom. And the powder, where's the powder? So I looked on the table where the woman had been seated, and there was no powder. And I was like, oh shit. I hope she didn't take it. I hope she didn't leave this house with this powder, knowing how important it is for her best friend, so-called, my mom, and her brain function, her memory loss, and these issues she has, So I was so disappointed when I called her, and she said, yes, she thought I gave it to her. I said, why would I give you something? First of all, it wasn't sealed. It had clearly been opened and used by us. And I told you the reason why I was showing it to you is because I was using it to help my mom for her memory. And why would you think it was okay to just take it and leave the house with it? I don't know, but hey, she claims that I gave it to her. I never did. I handed it to her for her to look at it, to let me know if she knew, if she's ever seen or heard of it, and could she tell me where I could buy it, because it came from my brother's warehouse and it was this only one, and I wanted to be able to replenish when this one finished. Somehow that translated to her into me giving it to her, which was bullshit. But anyway, fine. I said, well, you're going to have to return it because my mom needs this and I've been using it as well. So we actually need that because we don't know where to. I Googled and I found sources for it, but it was just opened. We hadn't used it for very long, so there was quite a considerable amount left in there, and my mom needs that. And she says, oh, well, I can't return it. I said, well, why not? Well, I gave it to this man. What? Why would you give it to some man when my mom needs it? She goes, oh, well, he just had a brain operation like your mother did. Yeah, but my mom had two brain operations. And you being her friend, you've seen, the after effects. So I don't understand why you would take it and give to a man. But whatever. She said she would get it back and bring it back, but she never did. And that's the way, that's, I'm going to say about my experiences with people. People do things to me all the time, which is why I'll be with you and then I will just disappear. Because I'm observing you. I'm observing your behavior with me. I'm observing that you think I'm a damn fool. You think I'm stupid because I am alternative. I'm different. I do things differently. I don't try to impress you with a degree, my master's or my PhD, it is my diploma. No, I don't do that. I'm from the source and I'm from nature. And I've always been. It was like Dr. Sebi and his grandmother. I'm very similar to that. I observe and learn. You see, Dr. Sebi had the benefit of his grandmother actually teaching him, showing him. But no, I didn't. My grandmother was a narcissist, so she was not really invested in teaching or showing me anything. So I observed her, and I observed my surroundings and the people, and that's how I learn. And when I learn things and I share with you, and you give me no credit for it, and you even steal from me. You do this repeatedly. You people, you have to change your ways and the way you operate on this earth, because you are following in the shit steps of your ancestors. You are following in the shit steps of your masses. We didn't have masses because we were indigenous. Okay. So long before mental health drugs were created, Brahmi has been used in Ayurveda to support proper function of the nervous system, help reduce anxiety, depression, and stress, improve your memory, and even boost your ability to receive inspiration. Can I get a hello? Okay. So, Brahmi powder is called in English Bacopa monieri, also called Brahmi, water hyssop, thyme-leaved gratiola, and herb of grace, is a staple plant in traditional Ayurvedic medicine. Okay. So, this, if you have issues with your memory, maybe you have a family member who has dementia or Alzheimer's, or even just for yourself. When I've been for many years, it's just so much in my head. I read a lot. I've always, since I'm a child, I'm reading. I read everything. I read textbooks when you are reading novels. That's why I dropped out. I don't watch Hollywood movies. I only watch documentaries, right? Because I didn't want to immerse myself in that culture that is so against us, against our nature, against nature in general. And you just soaking that up, all the commercials and the shit they're selling you. And I want no part of that because it doesn't benefit us. If it's not benefiting us, I don't want any part of it. And when I am surrounded by you, my family, friends, acquaintances, neighbors, all the people are just going out there as consumers and spending frivolously, thoughtlessly, mindlessly, with no consciousness, utterly lacking consciousness. Well, I have to step aside and say, okay, I'll do this on my own and I'll do it my way. So, Bacopa monieri, also called Brahmi, water hyssop, thyme-leaved gratiola, and herb of grace, is a staple plant in traditional Ayurvedic medicine. It grows in wet tropical environments, and its ability to thrive underwater makes it popular for aquarium use. Bacopa monieri has been used by Ayurvedic medical practitioners for centuries for a variety of purposes, including improving memory, reducing anxiety, and treating epilepsy. In fact, research shows that it may boost brain function and alleviate anxiety and stress, among other benefits. A class of powerful compounds called bacosides in Bacopa monieri is believed to be responsible for these benefits. Here are 7 emerging benefits of Bacopa monieri. Now, I'm not going to get into reading them. Contains powerful antioxidants, I want you to research yourself, because many of you don't like to read. You don't want to read, but you must. You must read and read books. Don't make books obsolete, like, no cassette tapes, no records. Then you had CDs and no longer CDs, and they want to take you so far removed, and they give you these screens, and then what happens when the screen is no longer functioning? What have you got? Don't be so quick to reject books and reading. Use your head. This I'm going to call it an herb. And it will help your brain. And it will help the brain of your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your parents, and you. Okay? So when I heard about those poor old Jamaican people in their village, wherever they are in Jamaica, and they have mental health issues en masse, majority of them are thusly afflicted, I felt so bad, and I wanted to tell as many Jamaican people as possible so they can reach their other Jamaican people and tell them so that they can find out where that is. Get the Brahmi powder. I mean, you all are buying all these European labels. All of you love to show off European labels. You love to go to the doctor, to the hospital. I'm telling you, no. This will help you. All right? So, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to have to get myself another supply. It's just I haven't done it because I don't like online shopping. I know many of you. Basically, all what you like, I don't. I don't like to go online and put my credit card and because none of this is safe. Your technology is demonic, and you all are like worshipping it as though it is a god. I would rather go to the Korean health food store. They have stuff from everywhere, including Canada. And I would rather go to them than to go to, the sources online. But we got to get my mom more treatment, more holistic. We got to get my mom healthier because I have been trying for a number of years and the devil keeps appearing, bearing these unnatural, unhealthy, foods and drinks that really impede my progress. And I'm here for results. I am here with solutions to problems. I am not here to create them. So any of you who are on this planet only causing trouble, creating problems, gossiping about me, trust me, I know who you are and I know what you're doing. There's a whole long list of you. Why? Because I was in connection with you and you were showing me your ass too many times and I didn't think your ass was cute. Neither was your assness. Good day. It's Brahmi powder. Brahmi powder. It would be good. Wouldn't it be good if you can get the plant, get the seeds and grow it? I want to try that. Is it possible? Who knows?